Welcome back to another episode of the Successful Driver Podcast here in the Clear Simple Used Truck Buying Studio. I'm hanging out with Sonny Grillo. He is the F&I manager at our Chicago branch. Sonny, my man, great talking to you again. I think this is your second time on the show, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we last talked. I guess, we're starting. We haven't had very many repeats at this point, but we had to get, talking to you. The last conversation we had was so good. And, you've got a lot of wisdom to impart on people. And why don't you just catch people up on what you do at our Chicago branch?
Most definitely. It'll be my 7th year here at Arrow in March. I started off as a salesperson 3 years in, made the transition over to a finance manager, and have been assisting all our clients, starting their business, becoming that company driver to an owner operator. We're here, it's like building a house. We're your foundation so you can start building that empire.
Yeah, man. And it's been a crazy few years that you've been through in this role, man.
Yes, it's a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, you've seen a lot, right? Like, how crazy has this last, 2.5, 3 years been for you?
Well, it's been like a roller coaster, with fuel prices being at that point in time at an all-time high, prices, the shortage of new trucks. It was difficult all around, and people felt it. But transportation still needs to be done. Stuff needs still brought to stores. The clients were coming in. They were trying everything they could to help. Add trucks, start their business. And they came to us to help them, get them on their way. And it's crazy to see, no matter which way we go in this market, there's always somebody that needs a truck. Product needs to be moved. Loads are paying. You got to seize that opportunity when it's in front of you.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. And this is, this has been a crazy time for truck drivers. And, I'm sure that there have been definitely some throughout this last few years that have switched from becoming an owner or from a company driver to becoming an owner operator. Have you noticed a lot of those recently?
Yeah, especially here at Arrow Truck Sales in Chicago, a lot of our clients are company drivers moving over to owner operators. First time, buying their truck, been working for a company for the past year or two. Some as much as 10 years, and they're like, you know what, I see the opportunity there to be my own boss, essentially, and they come to us to help them get there.
So, you see a lot of these guys that come in wanting to become, owner operators. You did say, hey, being my own boss. Is that what you feel is the driving factor when you're talking to these guys? Is that the singular driving factor, or are there other things that you hear from company drivers transitioning to becoming owner operators about why they want to make that switch?
You hear a lot of different stories, especially being here 7 years, seeing why they, were done with being a company, or as there's some people that, fresh out of school and they want to be an owner operator. The main driven thing is that almighty dollar, the opportunity of making more money and not having the control of a middleman, controlling how much you're going to make per mile, especially if you're an owner operator who has your own plates, and that next step, getting your own authority, you're controlling those loads, you're, building that cash flow. Obviously there's a lot more risk, with you being your own boss, overhead, repairs, all that good stuff. But, like the old saying is the juice worth the squeeze. And time again, it's proven being an owner operator, it's worth it.
Yeah.
And, not on top of that, just the flexibility, having the choice of, especially having your own plates as an owner operator, being able to know where to go and what load you want to take, and being able to say, hey, that one's not for me, I'm going to take this one. It's just a more flexible opportunity to make money. And I actually was reading an article, it came out in July, but still fairly recent. They say the average base income for an owner operator is $144,000 a year. That's huge. That's huge. And that could just be the average. That's not saying, these guys that go out there every day, day in and day out, and hustle for their family and for their business and to grow their empire. I started here 7 years ago. I'm still selling trucks, or I'm helping now get financing for people that I sold trucks to 7 years ago, who are on their eighth, ninth truck. They're not even driving anymore. And I've actually had a couple guys recently, a year into the game. One guy had nothing to do with trucking. It was an investment deal. I said, this is what I believe, because we're here to help. The reason why we help you is so you come back and you have that thought in your mind when it's coming to your second, third truck, whatever the case may be. We're your first stop because of how we treated you. We're not just selling you a truck, we're selling us.
Right.
And to see these guys that come in there like, man, I listened to exactly what you said. I grabbed my truck. I was grabbing loads. I did the next step of getting my own authority. And here we are. We're building it and we're doing it together. And that's the great part about it, is they remember us because we were there every step of the way.
You know, what are the biggest obstacles that you feel from from a company driver wanting to make that transition? But what are they most nervous about when it comes to making that transition?
Well, and that's another thing. The last 7 years, you see a lot of people that they're, it's like jumping on that cliff. If you're gonna fly, or if you're gonna, drop down to the bottom. And the biggest fear is, the overhead. If a truck breaks down, you just can't pull it in the bay and say, hey, where's my replacement at? I'm gonna hit the road.
Right.
It's the equity up front to obtain the loan. I think the main thing is having that money, having that overhead, the fear of breakdowns. That is, top three of that transition moving over to an owner operator.
What so some of the biggest, things that potential owner operators need to pay attention to when, like the biggest obstacles they potentially face in that, we'll call it the first year. That in that first year, what are some of the realistic expectations that a new owner operator should have about what they're about to embark on?
Well, one thing I can guarantee is if you got the drive, you're going to make money.
Yeah.
And the next thing I can guarantee is that especially it's a used piece of equipment, even new trucks. You put 80,000 pounds on it, stuff's going to go wrong. You are going to have breakdowns. You're going to have DOT violations. There's a lot of different thing that's going to happen in your first year, and it's on you to be goal driven and you put that money up, you secured your business. It's like going into McDonald's. Here's $1 million. Let me have the store. It's the same thing. You're putting your money up for your business, and it's on you on the return of investment.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about that. So, yeah, the advice that you're giving me, let's say I'm sitting in here, I'm becoming an owner operator. I want to become an owner operator. What are you trying to do as a representative at Arrow specifically? What are the things that you are making, asking them to think about, asking them to consider when they're sitting in your chair wanting to make this jump?
Well, first and foremost, we always present the opportunity of transport funding. It's an amazing bank. They're there for especially company drivers becoming owner operators. Great programs, great rates, the opportunity of it being a simple interest loan with no prepayment penalties, especially when somebody who's never had a commercial loan before. It's opening up a whole new profile for you. It's not on the personal, it's your PayNet business profile. And one of the things I tell my clients is, hey, if you're looking to build that empire and you want another truck and you want to keep adding and get drivers, this is where it starts. Just like a credit card, car loan, you got to establish that credit before it's, considered for the next loan. And with transport funding, with giving the opportunity of it being a simple interest loan, the customer has the ability to establish themselves and has the ability to pay it off whenever they feel like. So that's a great benefit for somebody coming over from a company driver to an owner operator. A lot of these banks, they make you stick to your loan throughout, and with transport funding, they want to see you grow so you come back. And especially with the match programs, having that equity up front to secure the loan. Right now, to the end of September, transport funding is allowing up to $10,000 on select models with a $10,000 match. So if you have $10,000 down or up to $10,000 down, they will match that for down payment towards your next truck. Select trucks and trailers, they got a 4,000 match as well. So we're trying to find any opportunity to help a company driver become an owner operator, especially in these times where money is, to make that jump sometimes is an issue. So we're there to help them get over that hump.
So, soft products are, some of the soft products that Arrow provides and other people provide NTP and all kinds of other, things to kind of help, help these guys with some of these bigger investments. What kind of stuff do you tell a potential owner operator going out on the first time about some of these things?
I mean, me personally, especially being in this game for so long and seeing everything between something so minor and so crucial later on, regardless if it's 30,000 miles or 100,000 miles down the road. And especially for me, everything I buy, I protect it. You always have to protect your investment. Any car, any home, that is something that you invested your time and money into. So in a time where they say a year down the road, 2 years down the road, where you have an issue and it comes between, am I going to, keep my business alive, or am I going to be able to support and be there for my family? And, anything happens, birthdays, whatever the case may be, you want to take a vacation. The last thing you need is a $4,000, $12,000 bill, which could have been simply covered by protecting your investment with an extended warranty.
What do you think about just extended warranties in this particular time that we're in right now, the way the market is? Like, how much more valuable do you think those become?
Especially in this market right now, when you're seeing trucks with 400,000, 600,000 miles, even 700, it's very crucial to protect that investment because, again, it's a used piece of equipment. It's already been running. Even new trucks, I know people that sell new trucks, and even with 1,000 miles, they have issues. But they have manufacturer warranty on it. When you're buying a used piece of equipment, it makes the most sense. I mean, again, 7 years here, I've seen it time and time again. $4,200 bill here. Another customer, $14,000 transmission here after a year owning the truck. And even if you have the money, the last thing you want to do is shell out $14,000 in one rip when you could just pay $150 deductible or a $500 deductible and say, hey, talk to these guys. They got me covered.
I think one thing that I appreciate about us at Arrows, we don't shy away from the fact that we sell used vehicles, and it's the reality of a used truck is it's got issues, it's got dings, dents, scratches, and flaws. That's probably the easiest way. There's always going to be something. It's imperfect, but we stand behind the quality of what we purchase, and we provide customers a lot of those opportunities to kind of help protect that investment a little bit better. And that's something like I do appreciate. Like, we don't shy away from it. We don't run away from it where, some other people might. We know what we're selling, but we try to give, potential owner operators a chance to protect that investment and how they see fit and what they feel confident in.
Most definitely, most definitely. And like you said, it's a used piece of equipment. We've had instances where truck has no problems, but a year down the road, something does happen. Or you can just write off the lot, nothing wrong, and then something does happen down the road. It's like I always tell my clients, it's better to have it not need it than need it not have it.
Mm. No, that'll preach right there. All right, so Sonny, any advice that you would give to a potential owner operator wanting to, make that jump right now? What's the one piece of advice that you give them?
Don't be scared. The money's out there. It's on you to grab it. If you've had the thought of being an owner operator and you just want to, dip your toe in and see what it's like, call me, contact me. I've had people that I've talked to 6 months to a year, and it took them that long to finally make that transition, whether it be saving up money or just, building that confidence to say, you know what, I'm going to do this. That's what we're here for. Every client gets my cell phone number. I answer calls, text messages, 11 o'clock at night. We're here to help you. This is why I'm here, is to help you start your business. And all I ask for in return is the opportunity to do so, because I can't do it unless you give me that opportunity.
No, that's true, buddy. That's true. It's been great talking to me, and there's so many different insights that I think are really valuable for people looking to make, those big jumps. And I know, that we've got people like you out there helping these truck drivers kind of figure things out as they're trying to work through their plans and their next step in their trucking journey. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for imparting some wisdom, telling us a little bit about what you do. Really appreciate it, buddy.
Ken, I appreciate you every time you invite me, man. I love coming. I love, sharing some stuff. I love going the back and forth with you. Thank you very much, my friend.
Absolutely. Well, that is the Successful Driver podcast for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to Sonny Grillo in Chicago. We'll catch you later.